Hey, good morning. Welcome back from the weekend. Happy Monday. Or as some would refer to it, the 1 month mark until the start of the NFL season. Yeah. September 4th, first game. Eagles, Cowboys, Thursday night football, but we still got plenty of baseball to get through over the next month and see what we can do with everything we've got to work with. Just recorded the first perfect lineup video as well. Pitching's odd today. Pitching is odd. We're going to have to make some uncomfortable decisions as we always do, but that's what makes all of this fun. So yeah, happy to have you guys with us or with me. And if you don't mind, hey, hopefully you had a great weekend. We're back, ready to hit the grind again. Many of you doing it over the weekend regardless, but you get the point. Anyway, take a single second, atone for your sins this fine morning. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you're listening or watching after the fact. Goes a long way. I appreciate you guys for that. I wouldn't ask otherwise. I promise you. The day it stops mattering is the day I'll stop asking. But yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. John the Bettist. Laffy took the YouTube premium suggestion from you, and I don't think I can ever go back. Someone said that to me on Friday, too. I'm telling you, man, it's a game changer. I'm glad you like it. It's the best. No ads. Close your phone. They should start paying me. I should just have every show sponsored by YouTube Premium. Clearly, they give me nothing for any of that, but, I want to help you guys out. Degen Stoner, love the video you do with Andy Francis. Thanks, man. I love Andy. Andy's a super sharp dude, and sometimes he plays it off like he isn't, like intentionally. Really sharp guy that's found some serious edges in betting, particularly with hockey, but football too. And we love talking football together. We just dropped a video for like futures and all this other stuff over on his channel, Andy Francis. You should check that out. He's an awesome, also can like legitimately help you win money betting. So Andy does an awesome job. Check that out. Check our video out that dropped on Friday or Saturday. Can't remember which one it was, but it came out and it's there. So if you're looking to listen to some football, we got you. Another thing, and then we'll get into this. For those of you who are, having insatiable desire to soak up football information, I decided since we are at the 1 month point, I'm going to do a first look strategy show for week 1 today. Got it all set up. Going to do it at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can watch it here on YouTube. You can watch it over on Twitter, wherever you want to watch. Even if there's 3 of you in there, I'll be honest, don't care. Anybody that wants to talk some football will have some fun. I'll obviously keep the chats open. We'll go through the week 1 slate. Yes, it's the way too early first look edition for week 1. There is going to be there are going to be a lot of changes, updates as training camp and preseason progresses. I get all that. However, if you just love football and you can't wait for it to get started, this is for you. And you know what? I shall not tell a lie. Who am I kidding? This is for me. Say, look, hey fellas, tell the guys here, I'm doing a strategy show today and it's going to be for football. And they go, interesting. Was that for preseason? Is that for futures? No, week 1. We're going to do week 1. It's fun, man. It's a 12-game slate. It's going to be awesome. 1 p.m. Eastern time, Owie. But you know what? You can watch it back whenever. You know the drill. You don't have to watch live. Travis, I'll be there. Hell yeah. Green, I'll be number 4, Laffy. Yeah. And Jake, appreciate you, man. Yeah, we'll have some fun. And as I said, even if it's a small group of us, who cares? We'll shoot the shit in chat. We'll talk about some stacks. We clearly don't have any tools updated yet, right? But we'll take some guesses as to what the chalk is going to be, and what type of spots aren't going to be chalky. William, I'll be there for sure. Michael, make me 5. Awesome. Let's do it, man. See, everyone loves some football. Everybody does. Could be chat. What do you think, Lav? Is your personal time zone what do you think? Now, listen, I go by Eastern time, obviously. Also, here's an unpopular opinion, right? I wish they would do away with daylight savings because I prefer to wake up and it's light out compared to waking up and it's dark out. I didn't always feel that way, but once you have kids and all of this, and it's like you have to be up way earlier and doing all that, helps me get up earlier. You don't need it getting dark at 9:15 in June. 8:15 is more than good enough, even for kids out there playing. But besides the point, let's get into some baseball. Appreciate you guys joining me. Greg, we'll see you over there for sure. And Paul, perfect way to start this off. Paul says, and I'll throw it up on the screen for you guys. My God, Kikuchi and Soroka, tough slate. Yeah, does it not feel like every time you guys hop in here and we do a show, does it not feel like Kikuchi is on every single slate at this point? Like it genuinely feels like we just have Kikuchi pitching Monday through Friday every single day. I know it's not the case because, well, that would not make sense, but it feels like it. And Paul, I'll tell you what, you may not love it, but you just segued me perfectly into the start of our analysis for this Monday slate. I think Michael Soroka is a very good pitching option tonight. Number one, look at our top pitchers tool. Number one, the Cincinnati Reds, and Soroka now in Chicago for what it's worth, no longer Washington at the trade deadline. The Cincinnati Reds are tied for the lowest total on the slate with St. Louis, who's going up against Tyler Glasnow, and the Rangers, who suck against lefties and have an elite ace in Max Fried. The difference here, obviously, Soroka's not as good as those guys, but he's $7,000. $7,000. What are you supposed to do with that? You got to get to some Michael Soroka today. You have to. Maybe it's uncomfortable. I know he's getting ownership, but I mean, come on. Lowest total on the slate. Soroka, by the way, has a 25% strikeout rate on the season. It's not bad. He has like a 4 flat xFIP, which it's 7K with a 25% K rate. Winds blowing in also 80. That'd be insane. Winds were blowing in at 80 miles per hour. That actually, you couldn't play Soroka either. He would just walk everybody. Or everything would probably be a balk, right? He'd just be pushed off the mound. That'd be awesome to see what are the highest wind speeds that you could play a baseball game in and still make it to where it's not insane. Speaking of, I watched Happy Gilmore 2 yesterday. My wife and I did as the kids napped. And let me tell you, and a lot of people tell me, hey, this movie is dog shit. And I was like, well, look, I love Adam Sandler movies, even some of the worst that, critic-wise. That's My Boy, great movie. And a lot of the other ones that he's done that people don't like. The first Grown Ups, I thought was great. Love it. So I was like, I'm obviously going to watch it. Happy Gilmore is like my childhood, right? I'm like almost halfway through it at the point, and I think, this isn't nearly as bad as everybody talked about. What are they saying? They just want to hate on old Happy. And then I saw the second half, and that may have been the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. I mean, just flat out terrible. The second half, the first to second half, there could not be a bigger difference in movies. The first half, I'm like, hey, this is pretty decent. I almost turned it off at the end. It was that bad. It's like two different people wrote the first and second half. So yeah, not necessarily sure where I was going there, but God, it was. I was thinking of like the Crazy Wind game. That's maxi golf, right? Like the dumbest concept ever created. But I'd watch it for baseball. Terrible. But yeah, Soroka's a guy that you have to get to today. Also, when we're looking at guys like Glasnow and Max Fried, I know Glasnow has a much higher K rate than Fried, and that's obviously going to draw ownership there, as it should. I know he was bad last time out. He had more walks than strikeouts. Super uncharacteristic performance from Glasnow. Still a fine play. St. Louis is, pretty much average to below average everywhere against righties. But even though Max Fried only, and I'd love to know where you guys stand here. I've got the chat open right now so we can dig in a little bit as a group, a little group thought experiment. I know that Max Fried only has a 23% K rate, but he's one of the few guys in the league that can make up for that with like an insane ability to work deep into games, to an elite ability to limit base runners. You know, he does all of that remarkably well. And the Texas Rangers are so bad against lefties. They're bottom 3 in WOBA, bottom 3 in WRC plus, 4th highest K rate, bottom 10 in ISO. I mean, it's a good matchup. And again, 3.7 total. So to me, like I look at these pitchers today, and you know, we're going to have to talk about Yusei Kikuchi as we always do, because he does have at least decent enough strikeout stuff. Although, where has it been lately? Guy's fallen off a cliff in recent starts, even at home where he's performed much better lately. But if I had to grab like my top 2 preferred right now without looking at exposures yet, I like Soroka at 7K. That team total is obviously going to push me in that direction. And I like Max Fried, still has a 5.5K prop, 18.5 outs prop, 1.5 earn run prop, only minus 140 to the over too. Ronald, we will definitely talk about Eric Lauer. We got plenty of time here, brother. Sit back and relax. We are not in a rush. Although, if you jumped in late, 1 p.m., way too early first look strategy show. Come join me. Let's have some fun. I know many of you guys from your comments will be there. Means a lot. But also, you want football. We want, like, anyone could talk about best ball content. I'm not saying anyone, right? Like, and it can be fun. And I love best ball. But tell me, is there anything better than week over week DFS talk for a main slate? For a Thanksgiving slate? For a 3-game Christmas slate? What about those Monday night double headers? Is there anything that gets your gears churning like that? Nah. Extract. Fried is much safer than Glass now, but Glass now has the higher ceiling. I could not agree more. But also, let's not say that Fried doesn't have a ceiling. And I know that's not what you're suggesting, but you look at Fried, like he's dropped 230 spots in his last 6 start, 29.4 and a 30, but he can do it. Because if he gives you 7 strikeouts and limits base runners, he can easily go 7 innings. And that's what we love about a guy like Max Fried. So what do we do with Yusei Kikuchi? What do we do? Because mind you, he's the 2nd highest owned player on the slate right now. I know the Sims are going to give us Kikuchi. Do with that as you will. I know they will, because his price has dropped further since last start. And this is a Tampa Bay team. I want to show you guys something for a second, okay? I looked at this earlier today. And, yeah, needless to say, a little bit surprised. So if you look at lefties here, right? Because we have a decent amount of lefties on this slate, by the way. Kikuchi's one of them. Max Fried, Sean Manaea, Nick Lodolo. Lot of decent lefties. Patrick Corbin. Eric Lauer, another lefty going. Bailey Falter. This isn't me suggesting that you should play all of them. JP Sears. God, is half of this slate lefties? Falter, Sears, Lauer, Corbin, Kikuchi, Lodolo, Manaea, Fried. What do we have? 9 games? So 8? It's a lot, man. Anyway, look at lefties for a second here. I want to show you something. The Tampa Bay Rays now, on their active roster, have a 71 WRC plus. 71. Now, The thing that sucks is they don't strike out at a very high clip against lefties at all. Bottom 5. But a 129 ISO, you're talking bottom 10 down there with that Rangers team that's been abysmal all year long. 271 WOBA is dead last. That's right, folks. We are more than 4 months into the season, and your active roster across all teams, right? All teams active roster. The lowest WOBA and WRC plus against lefties is, in fact, the Tampa Bay Rays. Crazy. Could be Travis. I use the NFL schedule as my annual calendar. I kind of do too, man. Especially working in this industry. Like once football rolls around, I'm exponentially busier, but I couldn't be happier. Humble, when the NFL pricing appeared, it felt like Christmas. Christmas Day for adults. I say it, you guys know I say it all the time. It's Sunday, week 1, Sunday morning. You wake up, the air feels crisper. Your back isn't tight anymore. A little pep in your step. Sometimes you even wake up erect. And you go, I know what that is. I can smell it in the air. Yeah, I can't wait. Josh, I need a code today, Laffy. What, for football? Yeah, I'll take care of you guys for anyone that's looking to get in on the tools, obviously. All right, so before we get to exposures, one more time, I want to talk Eric Lauer because I know you guys wanted to talk about that as well. How insane was that Rockies-Pirates game, by the way? And shout out to you, Steven. You got your homer. O'Neal Cruz. Josh should have gone with Andrew McCutchen, and he called it on the show that McCutchen was going to homer, which he did. Reynolds did not. Oh, Josh, just DM me, dude. DM me at Laffy_D, LOUGHY_D. I'll get you a code right after the show. Big discount. You do the week or month of the Sims. We'll get you a good discount there. For sure. Or use the link join. I'll tell you about that in a second. Stokastic Avatars had an insane weekend. Yesterday. There were like 5 or 6 different Hall of Fame tweets that came in with the avatar, people getting their free months. But yeah, so Eric Lauer, remember we went way overweight on Eric Lauer last week? Was that I think it was an early slate, but I can't remember. I know it was a shorter slate against Baltimore. No, 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, 2 starts ago. That's what it was. Was it you, Jake? Jake DeWitt, that was like, hey, the Tigers have been terrible recently. And we got into the whole process of like, typically we don't want to look into, a small 8-10 game sample over 162 game season, especially with a team that has been historically on the year as good as the Tigers have been. But then we say, you know what? This is a brutal pitching slate. And maybe we just use this as the tiebreaker, which we did with Eric Lauer. And he went 8 one-run innings with 6 Ks against the Tigers, 29 DK points. Listen, man, Lauer's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. I don't love the idea of playing him at Coors because it's still, at the end of the day, Eric Lauer. But he's not allowing much power. 0.97 home runs per 9. Dude, he's striking out batters at a 26% clip, 6% barrel rate. The one thing I don't love, 30% ground ball rate. I mean, that just sucks for a park like this. Actually, that's something that really would concern me. Always been a fly ball pitcher. Like 35% career ground ball rate is quite horrifying. But if you look at this year, X-ISO against lefties, 159, 172, 143 X-ISO. He's actually been worse against righties than the X-ISO would suggest. These numbers are good. Sub 300 X WOBA against lefties and righties alike. It's actually been better in the expected rates against opposite-handed bats. So, I mean, do what you want there, but the fly ball rate, the 30% ground ball rate at Coors Field, mind you guys, this is not a park. Like, obviously this is a homer friendly park, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, homers are less frequent in Coors than they are in Sutter Health Field or, Oracle. Obviously not, right? But I want you to see something. There's the rolling 3-year average using the StatCast home run leaderboard. I want you to see something. Home runs at Coors are 11th. But because it's a cavernous ballpark, just super spacious outfield in the altitude where pitches don't break nearly as well as hard as they would elsewhere, it is number 1 by a mile in triples, number 2 in doubles, number 1 in singles, number 1 in hits, number 1 in OBP, and number 1 in runs, right? So all of that, and number 1 in park factor. Also, where is it in strikeouts? It's going to be towards the bottom. It's towards the bottom. So it's not so much homers as it is balls just sitting up there in the outfield and finding gaps. Like the amount of triples hit at Coors Field is preposterously high. That should be no surprise to anyone, right? So yeah, pretty nuts. Strike a loot. If Soroka does well, I'm dust because I have 0. All right. Yeah, I mean, look, he's getting ownership. He's not 80% owned, but I do think it's a good spot. Wind's blowing in at Wrigley. Kikuchi against the Tampa team. I mentioned it. They are legitimately the worst team right now in the league against lefties on the active roster. The only thing that works against Kikuchi here, Tampa doesn't strike out much. But you can't argue up against him, even though he hasn't been good lately. You have to have a short-term memory. You have to have amnesia with these spots. Kikuchi still looks good. Now, you want to get underweight on spots like that? Fine. I get it. Kikuchi's done us dirty more times than he's helped us. But aside from that, you're looking at like an 11% on Eric Fede against Milwaukee. Corbin against the Yankees is getting 11% in Texas. I dabble with a little bit of Eric Lauer there. You know who else? I think Lodolo's kind of interesting. Clearly, he has massive upside. He's been stellar lately as well. Really good lately. I mean, Lodolo's pitching as well as anyone recently. You look at something like great start last time out against the Dodgers. Great start against the Mets, against the Nats, against Miami. Not all of them are the most difficult matchups, but if Lodolo's 8%, I think there might be something there. You know, you have the same favorable conditions that Soroka does. 4-run implied total. What do you guys think? I think he looks okay. I actually, the more I look at a guy in Lodolo, he seems to never get any ownership. And he's had tournament winning games recently. Career 26% K rate. It's at 24% this year, but a 4.6% walk rate. I kind of don't mind it. And the Cubs are really not the type of team you love picking on at all. But it's fair to say, and look, 113 WRC plus against lefties, 330 WOBA on the active roster. You don't love any of that for Lodolo. But 8%? Strike alert, Lodolo too expensive against the Cubs. If Lodolo was facing a bad team today, he'd be a lot more expensive than this. So I don't know. With the way he's pitched recently, I feel like he kind of isn't overpriced. Anyway, looking at our exposures. Kikuchi, Soroka, Glasnow, Fried, Corbin at 6. But really, it's Kikuchi, Soroka, and then a big drop to Glasnow, another drop to Fried, and a drop to everybody else. Yeah. Did Jen Stoner interested in Lavi's thoughts on Bayo in case I missed it? I was looking at him earlier. I don't think it's crazy. Just not a ton of strikeouts in this lineup, but he's been decent. He's 7,800. Obviously, I like Soroka more. I do like Kikuchi on paper more, like if you weren't factoring in ownership, but Bayo's getting no ownership at all. At all. The reason I typically never get to guys like this against the Royals is you are just so hard pressed to get strikeouts, which means that you need kind of a flawless type start. And for a guy like Bayo, coming off, by the way, a very nice start last time out against Boston or Minnesota, but think about it. He went 7 one-run innings and still only had 20 fantasy points. You know what I mean? Because he had 4 Ks. And that's tough for me at 7,800. 16% K rate for the Kansas City Royals is tough. Really tough. So, yeah. Anyway, that's our pitching exposure. We're not getting many of those other guys. You'd have to boost Lauer. I don't think it's crazy. But again, given that fly ball rate, it does worry me in this park. The one guy I'd like to boost a little bit would be Nick Lodolo here. I'd love to get a little over the field. I really would. Because he's not that much more expensive than Kikuchi, right? You could still pair him with a Fried or Glass now. It wouldn't be that difficult. Take a look at our stack exposures as well. Before we do, you had just mentioned, Josh, getting that code. Shout out to all of our winners from this weekend. We got all of these messages yesterday, which is just awesome. Mike said, Sims have been working great for me. Took down the 50-cent mini max, the quarter jukebox, and the dollar solo shot. Amazing, man. It's like $3,000 right there on all low stakes contests yesterday. Brandon did this 4 or 5 days ago, and it didn't register until now that a top 3 in a large field equals a month. Thanks again, Stokastic. Congrats, dude. First place in the mini max, or second place in the mini max. I see another avatar, Stokastic, in third. Remember, if you're just rocking the avatar, stokastic.com/HOF, links in the description as well. If you're rocking the avatar, finish top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more on any contest. Could be the beanball down here, right? Ball up, boys. Thanks, Stokastic team. Look, took down the beanball, 15K MLB beanball for $2,000. Eric Jacobson, 3 months in a row with a top 3 finish. Thank you, Stokastic. $2,000 right there. All rocking the avatar. Not only did they win money using the tools, or maybe some of them aren't, but also a free month of the tools. And you can keep going. If you do it twice, you get another free month of Stokastic Max Sims and another week of any sport you want. If you do it 3 times in a calendar year, Sims All Access, $550 value. And of course, anyone with a 20K plus win in any field size, well, you get that beautiful custom ring in a display case commemorating your big win with your name engraved, all that great stuff. You'll love it. So rock the avatar. We'll help you. Anyway, shout out to those guys. Love seeing that shit. DM me if you want a promo code. You know how to do it. At Laffy_D on Twitter or on Instagram. I'll hook you up with a good code for a week or a month. Or as always, just use that link down there. Sign up with any of our sportsbook partners. Just click claim offer. Every single one of these, whether it's a pick'em site in non-legal states or a sportsbook, every single one of these equals an additional month of Sims for any sport. Mix and match them. Do it how you please, my friends. That is the way it's done to get in at a massive discount. And with football right around the corner, feel free to bank them up. Keep 1 or 2 for MLB. Stack another for NFL and get your foot in the door. Follow those 4 steps and you're in. All right, let's get back to it. And again, shout out to you guys for taking down those tournaments. You love to see it. So let's take a look at stacks. Any guesses here? Any guesses? Pull up the top stack tool first. I mean, Toronto's got to be there, right? Just absolutely has to be there. Toronto's has to be. 26% top stack probability against Tanner Gordon today. A 7.4 team total. You know what's crazy? I'll tell you guys something. Just popped into my head now. So I'm thinking like, all right, well, you know, Kansas City, someone asked about Brian Bayo, and we're like, yeah, they don't really strike out all that much and makes things difficult. Well, you know who really doesn't strike out? The Toronto Blue Jays. 15.8% strikeout rate against righties on the season. The lowest by a full percent 4+ months into the year. Against lefties and righties alike, 15.9%. Get this, San Diego has the second lowest K rate at 17.6%. So, I mean, we're 4 months into the season, and this team strikes out sub 16%. And now you're going into Coors Field, which already suppresses strikeouts, which already, we saw it. No field has more singles, triples, second and doubles, highest in runs, most hits, highest OBP, and now you got a team that puts almost everything in play against a guy in Tanner Gordon, who at the major league level, through about 60 innings pitched, has a stellar 15% K rate. Call out sick, pal. It ain't going to end well for you. Dude, that's crazy. I would take a team like Toronto in this type of spot over like the power hitting feast or famine type offenses out there right now. Wouldn't you guys? Granted, they're going to be popular, but when you think about that, if I told you, hey, this team's just going to put everything in play at Coors Field against the guy who doesn't get strikeouts, there's not a single one of you who's going to be like, not for me. In theory, I like it, but in practice, kind of gross. No, it's a great spot. They're popular. My guess is we just get wildly over the field. I don't know. Maybe we're under. But the fact that they still have a value score of second highest behind only Milwaukee against Eric Fedde, the highest stack score by 1 million, excuse me, it's hard to believe that this is not going to be our highest exposed team. Aside from that, San Diego against Brandon Pfaadt, Boston against Bailey Falter. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I don't mind that. Milwaukee against Fedde just looks great in the value proposition here, especially given that they have a near 5 total. And you know, I'll throw one more out there. We'll look at our exposures, but Colorado against Eric Lauer. Like I said, Eric Lauer has been good, but those fly balls could be a problem. If your outfielders can't get to them in that spacious Coors Field outfield, that could create some issues for you for sure. For sure. So let's do it. Guys, rapid fire. Who are our top 3 exposed? We usually do it with pitchers. Let's have some fun with stacks. Our top 3 exposed stacks today. I'm going Toronto, Milwaukee. I wanted to say Colorado value scores. Toronto, Milwaukee, and you know what? I'm going to say Kansas City. Toronto, Milwaukee, and Kansas City. Give me the 3. Jay, Toronto, Milwaukee, Boston. Honestly, you're probably right, Jay. Steven, Jay's Boston, Milwaukee. Okay. I feel like Colorado won't be just because of the value and negative leverage. William, Toronto, Milwaukee, Colorado. Expos, that's a good one. Michael, Toronto, Boston, Milwaukee. Okay, so it seems like we're all similar here. Strikaloo, Toronto, Milwaukee, Boston, Yankees, Mets. You're going 5? All right, you get that in order. I was going to say I'll give you a free week, but I don't know if you're a Sims user. You could just be cheating. Not saying you are, but you could be. Sotex, Toronto, Milwaukee, Boston. All right, we have a consensus, it looks like. Here we go. We're going 5-man. No, you know what? You know what? No, let's see what our total exposure to these stacks is. Go into exposure caps in the Sims tool. Again, you guys hit me up with the promo or you want to use the link join. You got the Sims right here. You can exploit all of this, customize everything to your liking. Single lineup Sims for those of you hand builders out there. We got something awesome coming for NFL. You're going to love it in the single lineup Sims. You're going to love it. ownership, top stacks tool, player projections, top pitchers tool, all that stuff. Late swap tool, post-contest sims, you name it. All right, here we go. Stack exposures, the big reveal. Milwaukee. Oh, my God, I nailed it. I have not looked at anything. Got the Kansas City as the number 3. All right. Now, granted, razor thin margins there with Boston. Oh, no, wait. No, I'm sorry. I didn't nail it. Milwaukee is ahead of Toronto. I got Kansas City as the 3, but I got out of order Milwaukee and Toronto. Yo, Milwaukee 45%. All right. Let's see what our 5s and 4s look like, though. Yeah, OMG, Father. Sadly, I don't think we're getting Brewers Braves tonight. Supposed to rain nonstop all week. That is my fault for not mentioning weather today. Sometimes when it's this early, I forget because, God, how many times have we had games where we were worried about them on the day slate and they just ended up playing? So I try not to worry too much. Plus, weather across the board today looks perfectly good outside of one game. But, yeah, this is the one that could be a problem. Just pay attention closer to the game. Our good friend Kevin Roth said that this actually could be a game that just plays without any issue. So pay attention. Pay attention. That's Quinn Priester, Eric Fede. But Milwaukee against Eric Fede here does look quite good. So we'll see. But 5-man stack exposure, a lot of Milwaukee. And you know, guys, if you look at this, this is what kind of tipped me off. Is that while they don't have the highest top stack probability or the highest team total, the value score on them when you have the 4th highest top stack probability and the 6th highest implied total, when you have a value percentage that high, it's just going to jump off the page, right? That's just the way it is. And also not insane ownership either, because so much of it is going to the Toronto Blue Jays. But it is funny to see that, like, we're pretty much with the field on the Blue Jays across the board. Look at that. We're just matching the Blue Jays. Kansas City at 5%. Are we getting any 4-stack exposures heavy here? Milwaukee, Toronto, 3-man. Toronto 8-7, Milwaukee. Okay. What are the individual prices on these Toronto bats? Let's see. 34. So, I mean, obviously it depends where are these guys hitting in the order. Second. I mean, 3,400 at that price point is crazy. Nathan Lukes, leadoff, assuming, you know, the projected lineup is what we expect it to be. 4,500 for a leadoff guy. Dalton Varsho, 4,900. I know he's batting down in the order, but I mean, these guys are really cheap in this game. Christian Yelich, though, our highest exposed at 44%. Bobby Witt, we always get a lot of him. I have no problem with that. Getting big-time leverage there. Joey Ortiz, Zach Neto, Maikel Garcia, Ezekiel Tovar. Okay. Bo Bichette's 5,700, so that's a big price point. What's Vlad at? So you have, who else are we looking for? Vlad, 65. But also it's not tough to build. Like here, let's do this before we bring in Josh Engelman. Let's just see what a build looks like for Toronto, given that we've got some of these cheap bats. Alejandro Kirk, you mentioned him. The OMG Father saying he's free. Sotex, there is the whole theory out there, since this is the first game of the Toronto-Colorado series, Toronto might have some trouble getting adjusted to the altitude. Maybe best to target them next game. Yeah, Pittsburgh just dropped fucking 16 in their first game. I don't read too much into that. They had 9 in the first inning. Wasn't that the first game? Unless they had a 4-game series that started on Thursday, Friday would have been the first game. I'm not worried too much about that. Another thing, we could talk about that all day long. It sure isn't getting baked into the odds. It's not getting baked into the odds whatsoever. Toronto still has a massive total. I would think by now, with how ubiquitous sports betting is around this country and with Major League Baseball, that the books would know to price these games differently or to set the lines differently if it were, if this were a real thing. That's how I look at it. Anyway, let's build one and we'll bring Josh in. Who do you guys want to go for pitching? Rapid fire right now. Hit me with whatever you got. And what I want to do is build out a 5-man Toronto stack with the expensive bats, but also these cheap guys as well. Because if you're talking about, let's see, your 1 and 2 hitters plus your 6 hitter being cheap, because Kirk is 3,500, means you got a 45, a 34, and a 35 with 3 of your top 6. Even Ty France at 4,100 in the 7-hole. We could try Lodolo and see what happens. Do you think we can go Lodolo Fried? I don't know how this will sim, but let's try it. Were we getting it? We weren't getting much Lodolo in the sims, were we? Whatever. 38. This could be tough. We'll see if we can go Milwaukee here, get some cheap Milwaukee bats potentially. But these are the first things we need to do. We need to get our 1 and 2 hitters in here. And then what we want to do is grab Kirk for sure. So that now allows us a little bit of wiggle room. 3,900. I might fade Vlad in this lineup. Go with Bichette. Actually, you know what? Let's go with 3-man. Let's go with the 1-2-4 and then see what we can do with Milwaukee. Would this make more sense if we did it like this? See if we can do a 5-2-1 maybe. Might actually work. If you got Vaughn batting third at 3K flat, I have no clue if this is going to work, by the way. Bryce Turang is 3,700. This is a good spot against Fede. These price points really are nuts. Let's get Yelich in there. Is there anyone we can get? Will this work? 2,100. Do we have anybody? Show affordable players. That's tough. I don't know if this is going to work. I really don't. Let me pull out Lodolo and go Soroka here and see what happens. Let's go Soroka. Gives us 3,800. I'm going to have the single lineup sim complete the rest of the lineup. Let's go large field, 10% the first. Let's say we're playing the mini max. And I'm doing this because, hey, our friend Martin, friend of the show, guy took down $500,000 basically in the last 2.5 months. He was the one when I interviewed him. It was like, we know the 5-2-1s are just better and have won more tournaments. In this case, however, we are getting a 5-3. Sim's giving us a 5-3. Let's run the sim. Comment, Gad. Try Sears. I don't want to do. Damn, look at that beauty. Oh, whoo. Just because this will be fun, let's pull out Durbin, put Lodolo back in, and grab a cheap-ass pitcher. Actually, I'm going to do this. Glass now, Lodolo. Does it give us anything else? Let's go Glass now, Lodolo. Show affordable players. This tool's pretty sweet, by the way, huh? Let's see what they give us. Let's see if it gives us who are we getting? Who did it give us? Alex Friedland. All right. Run it with the 9-hole hitter at 2,500. Positive, negative, somewhere in between. What do we get? 17%. Okay, not bad. But that spotted Soroka with a 3.7 total against really does just look good, and I'm not surprised. Take it or leave it, friends, but that's what we've got. This has been a fun one, for sure. So now it's time to bring in, Joshua Engelman. Home run roulette. Last time we did this, guess what happened? Chat is now up 2-0 over us. Obviously, very short odds on O'Neal Cruz in that game. The rules go like this. We spin the wheel. I go, Josh goes, and one of you guys in the audience goes. Just type dinger right now over the next minute, and we'll pick somebody for the audience. If you guys get it right, you get a free week, maybe a free month of The Sims, depending on where the spin lands, and add another tally into the box for the chat, because at the end of every 2 weeks, if the chat is up over Josh and myself, which is honestly looking like that's about to be the case, you could put the final nail in the coffin tonight, pretty much. Then we're going to have something nice for you guys. Nice big giveaway. Have a good time with that. So type dinger in. Josh will pull the wheel up. I suppose it's time for me to say hello. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? We're here now to talk about how we knew exactly what was going to happen on Friday. I
already said it.
That I took Brian Reynolds. It's just, it was set in stone that McCutchen was going to homer, and he homered in 15 minutes.
I knew. Yeah, first inning. Him and Cruz in the first inning. That could have, I mean, obviously I had to go with Sean Noel. And yes. I was in a tough spot. It was a plus 850. I had to take somebody at plus 800 or higher or longer odds. But we would have had 2 of 3. Here's the good news. I did bet that, right? Because we had the promo on FanDuel, 33% boost. I'm actually glad all of this happened, because I'm glad you didn't, because then it would have been 2 of 3 and I would have been pissed.
Yeah, but I would have won, so I would have been happy.
Right, but it makes me even happier that not only did you lose, but the bet lost, because 2 of 3 would have hurt even more. Anyway.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm
just sad. I'm sad. It really pissed, especially when you look at the box score after Friday's game and see that the final was 17-16.
No. Yo, for the worst team possibly ever in the modern day era, awesome comeback by the Rockies. Like, they were down 9-0.
The crowd was into it too. When Doyle hit that walk-off, the place went nuts. I didn't even think there were going to be people in the stands.
Me neither. I think people may have just heard that it was a crazy game, and the vagrants came wandering in off the streets for free.
A lot of Coors to drink during those games probably makes it a little bit more fun.
Would make me happy. I'm a big Coors Light guy.
Of course you are.
All right, let's spin the wheel. We got
There's a word for people like that.
What's that?
There's a word for people like that.
Cool.
Sure.
Is that the one you were looking for? Cool.
Nope. No, you're naming the wrong Coors. If you're gonna go, you gotta go.
The banquets?
That's fine. But look, I mean,
it's the original. That is Coors. But people always
OG Coors is the better Coors.
I enjoy a Coors banquet for sure, especially in the Chode bottles.
Oh yeah.
But a Coors Light in the summer, all day. I have no shame in that either. So let's go. Make it happen. Spin the wheel. Let me go first today. I got to get off the schneid. I've been getting some brutal spins lately too.
You want to go first? Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, actually, we got to pick somebody. No, let's do it the way we normally do.
Okay.
Pick somebody in chat. Spin it for them. They get 3 minutes. We will go as they pick their homer for today.
Chat, your selected person is Juan Garza. So
right,
Juan Garza, this next one is for you. We're going to load the wheel. We're going to spin the wheel. You'll have a couple minutes to figure out what you want to do here. Okay, very easy. You just have to pick somebody, and that team needs to be the favorite for today. So any one of the teams that are the favorite, you can pick anybody you want in that scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and assume you're going to get somebody pretty damn good here.
You sound like a robot, and I'm not sure if it's on my end or on your end. Let me see here.
How about now? Do I sound any better?
Sound like a robot? No, but it might just be on. Okay. It's on my end. It's a StreamYard thing, I'm sure. We'll work through it. So favorite team only. He has 3 minutes to pick. Spinner for me and see what happens.
All right, here we go. Come on, garbage. Here we go. I just don't want you to succeed. Okay. This is labeled improperly, which I'm noticing right now, but that doesn't affect anything for you right now.
Let's do it.
Should very clearly not be the hardest thing you do.
Yeah, let's do it. Spinner.
I did. You got former MVP only.
Oh, former MVP only? Sorry.
Yeah, but that should not be labeled as red. That should obviously be green.
Do you think if I refresh in StreamYard, it would be okay?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to leave and you have to come back in, but it's not going to do anything to the stream. I'll be here. Okay. So now the show is actually good. We've gotten rid of Laffy. We can actually have a much better experience than we were having before. Oh, he's back. I guess I'll stop talking smack. Oh, maybe he's back. There he is.
There we go. Sounds good. StreamYard stinks sometimes, man. All right, so former MVP only.
Yeah, which obviously isn't going to be all that difficult for you.
I just want to pull up the history of it, like most recent, right? So,
all right. Before you keep talking, Juan, you need to pick a player to homer. I believe you're trying to tell me you're taking someone from Toronto. You need to choose that person.
Yeah. And we're using DraftKings odds to keep everything uniform here. This is actually not that tough. You're right, Josh. I mean, I could go Judge. I could go Ohtani. I could go. Yeah, there's a few here that actually look quite nice. So, actually interesting. Like you could even go with a Mike Trout or a Chris. You know, I might get a little weird here. You went with this guy the other day. I think I'm going to do it. I think we're going to go Christian Yelich against Eric Fetty.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. Do you have the line in front of you by any chance?
Yeah, pulling it up right now. The tools loved him, by the way, from a DFS perspective. Christian Yelich,
popping.
Yeah, I think our highest owned player on the slate. Love Milwaukee. You could go with all of these other guys, Judge, Ohtani, whatever. Eric Fetty has struggled. Guy gives up pop for sure. And you're getting shorter odds on Yelich, plus 550 on Christian Yelich today. Those are longer odds than you got him at the other day. I think you had like plus 490 or plus 450 or something. So, yeah, I could have played it safe, but you're never playing it safe. You're always getting plus money with home runs anyway. So, give me Christian Yelich at plus 550 against a pitcher in Eric Fetty, who you and I have targeted quite often recently. And, you know, the guy is giving up over 1.25 home runs per 9 this year against lefties. No better. We'll take it. 1.93 home runs per 9 to lefties on the season with a 5.54 xFIP. Log it in, son.
All right, this is going to be me. Here we go. Reload the wheel. Okay, I think I'm getting a parlay here. I got a bad feeling about this. Okay. Team has to be on a 3-game losing streak. All right, let's go to the standings. What are my choices? This sucks. Okay. Yankees, Astros, Nats. Those are my only choices. Yankees, Astros, and Nats are the only teams that have at least a 3-game losing streak.
Yankees, Astro, and Nats.
Yeah.
Oh, and chat's right, but I thought Judge was coming back today. It's expected to be tomorrow, but doesn't matter. All right, yeah, that's actually not that tough to do. You name them one more time for me.
Yankees, Astros, Nats. I'm getting a little lucky here in that like the Yankees are on a 3-game losing streak. This could normally be pretty dog shit. Yankees, Astros, Nats.
I would say the Yankees against Corbin, who hasn't even been that bad.
Nats aren't on the slate. So Yankees, Astros are my only options.
You don't have to go on the slate.
No, they don't. The Nats do not play today.
Oh, got you. I thought you meant
I'm not going to have any chance whatsoever to pick a Nat. I guarantee they won't homer.
I thought you meant the DFS slate. I thought you were talking about the 7 p.m. games. All right, so you have okay.
All right. Oh, this is easy. I've already got mine.
Who you going
I'll
with?
book mine before everybody else does.
Let's hear
it. This one's simple. We're going to Houston. Sandy Alcantara on the hill. 207 x ISO allowed to lefties so far this season and a 14% K rate. He's getting absolutely nuked by lefties. So I'm going to Houston. Very easily going to Houston. And I'm grabbing Jesus Sanchez. Plus 600 odds today, I might add, which is a really tasty line for what I'm getting here.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. You're at plus 600, I'm at plus 550. Before we get out of here, can you give me the 2 homers that do you have the tally for chat right now? Because I know O'Neal Cruz had to have been super short odds at Coors Field on Friday.
Cruz was plus 260. Pasquantino was plus 380.
So either you or I get ours today and chat doesn't, and we are right back in it. Because
we are just, if I get it, we are just barely behind.
Yep.
And if you get it, it's a little bit more, but nothing too crazy.
But it's in the ballpark is what I'm saying.
Yeah. We have a shot in the rest of the week if one of us can get this here. By the way, we still need Juan to make a pick. He went with Toronto and then Aaron Judge.
Juan, we need a pick like now, by the way.
Yeah.
Are we sure he didn't? Because we may
get everyone. When I select him, I get every one of his chat messages siloed in the Nightbot app, so I can see everything he's said since then.
He's saying Judge, but yeah, no Judge today.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to give him Judge so we have a shot. Asshole pinch hit and hit a dong.
John, we're going to give you 30 seconds here. We actually have to go. We have a call.
I mean, sometimes we got to look. The customer's always right if they need to be here, brother.
We're giving stuff away. And we said 30. We say 3 minutes. It's been more than 3 minutes. So technically, we're breaking our own rules.
Yes, it has been.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have...
I can re-roll the winner.
Juan wants Ohanta. That's...
I'm going to assume that's Ohtani?
Yeah, just go with Ohtani. Go...
Because I don't think Ohanta's going yard today.
Go with Ohanta. Ohanta's odds.
We're never calling Ohtani again.
No, just yeah. Go with Shahanta Otanta. What is he at?
plus 205. That is the second shortest line we've had behind Cal Raleigh on opening night for our little game here.
So we got Shohei Ohtani. We have Jesus Sanchez you went with?
Yeah.
And Christian Yelich.
I'm going to laugh about this shit all day.
It's going to be good, man. Appreciate you guys. We need one. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Another edition of the Strategy Show. StreamYard, internet, whatever it may be is acting weird, so I'm going to jump. We'll see you guys. Have a great rest of the day. Remember, you can always watch this after the fact if you missed it at the beginning, live before lock tonight as well. Bye-bye.